Hello and welcome. My name is Miguel Edwards and I'm with FiveM Consulting, and I am so proud and honored to be here live at ITC Vegas on the Live at ITC set, proudly sponsored by Tint. And I'm joined here today by Mr. Frank Loftus, who is the CEO of ARC Global Risk. Sorry,
That's okay.
A little bit of a mouthful this morning. But welcome, Frank, and I'm so glad to have you here. I had an opportunity to chat with members of your team to learn a little bit more about your business, and what a fascinating dynamic. It's just a little kind of a new spin for me, and I would love for you to start by grounding us a little bit on your organization, your business, and what you bring to the market.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And you know, we're really looking forward to ITC. This is the first year we participated in it. But as our people probably told you, we're really an evolving tech company.
Mm-hmm.
And to give you a little idea of where we come from, I'm a lawyer by training.
Okay.
And so I come from a completely different direction, know nothing about technology. My kids guide me through my iPhone. Very typical, right? But we have been handling claims as a TPA for well over 25 years. We've been in business for 55 years.
Right.
And about 7 years ago, we acquired a technology company. And we did it because we saw a lot was lacking in the claims management space as far as tech goes.
Mm-hmm.
And so we tried to develop one that was more user-friendly and could produce more data for our clients.
Okay.
And for 5 years, we developed that. And we did it in conjunction with another part of our operation, which was a substantial call center. We were handling about 100,000 claim intakes a year for the likes of FedEx and Amazon and some other very large clients. And we found that while we were intaking those claims, that our clients wanted a lot more information than they were getting from a standard first notice of loss.
Okay.
So, and these were clients with big SIRs, but that also had to worry about their excess carriers, and were also concerned about their other stakeholders. And we're really conscious of the fact that involving the other stakeholders early on in a claims process could save the company money in a lot of different ways. So we set about introducing a new system of what we call incident intake and management. And we do it and have it work in conjunction with our claims management system.
Okay.
So what happens is when a claims gets called in or comes in through the web or comes in online, we have a set of rules that has our team, that has the system, send notifications out to a preset of organizations within and without the client organization.
Okay.
So for example, if a claim gets called in and it involves damage to cargo and damage to the fleet, notifications go out to the PLPD, TPA, as well as to the fleet, to operations, to cargo claims, all of whom are able to respond back and to update the situation. That enables you to determine what the real severity is, whether it affects only operations, whether it's going to have an HR impact, whether it's going to involve workers' comp for some reason, and again, to supplement those notifications and get them out there.
Okay.
And the objective to that is to make sure that the response to any type of incident is appropriate.
Okay.
Does it need counsel? In other words, was it a fatality or a serious loss?
Sure.
Does it need a workers' comp? And perhaps, you know, if you have an incident that might have a psychological effect on the people around them, do you need to get HR and training involved? The larger the company, the more types of organizations within the company need to be involved. So what our system does is it assists the client with AI to make recommendations as to who should be involved in different types of losses, but enables the customization for the client to sit down and tell us who exactly they want to know.
Right.
Do they want media relations to know about everything, for example? Or do they want them just to know about serious losses?
Got it.
And the objective is to minimize the amount of personnel time involved in a loss, because that saves a substantial amount of money.
Sure.
Right? As well as to get over to your TPA losses as quickly as you can, report things to your insurance carrier as fully and quickly as you can, and to keep operations functioning.
Got it.
So it really provides a full range of services to our clients. And I think it's really unique in the market.
Makes sense. Well,
And go ahead.
no, please continue.
No, and then it's supplemented by a claims management system that, you know, is, I would say, the most user-friendly on the market, but that is really used by your claims team.
Yeah.
But it's the incident management software that we're introducing today called PRISM that's really very unique.
Got it. Makes sense. So I think what I'm hearing in here, Frank, is that your system and the surround processes, they really represent a kind of a hub for that initial claims process where you're pulling in from all the different potential areas and ensuring things are actioned appropriately. That's kind of what I'm kind of gathering from the value proposition.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
I mean, because so many companies get a notification of loss and only tell their risk people.
Got it.
Right? And we have had countless examples for clients before using our system and from others where they just lose trailers.
Yeah.
Right? Or they lose track of really good, customers. And they lose track of the effect that it's having on their reputation.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to involve every stakeholder right off the bat and allow them, first of all, to take the steps in whatever action directory they have.
Yep.
Right? As well as notify us back if the severity is different.
Got it.
And we also enable the system to generate reports out to all of these stakeholder entities. So for example, if you're with safety, you can get on in the morning and just ask the system, did anything happen in my district last night? And it'll sit down and tell you everything that's happened.
Interesting.
But you would, of course, receive notification directly if it were serious. Yeah. And the objective is to make sure that you're not awakened in the middle of the night for reasons that are unnecessary, but you sleep well because you know that if something serious happens, you're going to be told about it and you're going to be able to respond.
That makes a lot of sense. You use the term, Frank, you use the term reputation. Talk to me a little bit, because I know reputation management is a thing large organizations like FedEx and Amazon and folks are constantly thinking about. How does reputation management play into the overall value chain of what it is you guys do?
So the value of a customer is something that can never be forgotten.
Sure.
And when an incident happens that involves damage to property, damage to an individual, or merely inconvenience, it causes friction between a company and its customer.
Sure.
So the way in which you respond to that has a long-term effect. A large company may have 100, 200, and some even more than 1 million incidents a year that occur. Mm-hmm. And if you handle them improperly, you don't want to be losing 5-10% of your customers each year.
Sure.
So what we do with our system is, first of all, we make sure that those that need to respond to your customer get notification. And we have worked with the customer previously to send out instructions to the people that are getting this notification. So a notification might go out saying, we had an incident today where a driver was rude to a customer. Mm-hmm. Here's the information. Here's what we know happened, or what the allegation is of what happened. And these are the processes that you should follow.
Got it.
In order to make that customer as happy as you can.
Right.
Right? And that's completely different from what a risk management department would do.
Sure.
Right? So it's a coordination of a company's customer service department, their risk department, as well as all their operational entities. And I think that it really has worked to protect the reputation of our clients. And the second thing we do is that our systems are very API heavy. Mm-hmm. So when we're sending out notifications to a TPA, for example, that might be handling your liability claims, we also our APIs also get responses back from the TPA that allow us to determine whether they are handling with the appropriate customer obsession the claims that they're handling on your behalf. Because every aspect of a claim or an incident that's reported can have a negative consequence on your reputation. Some are hard to avoid, right? Because there is a natural conflict. But you need to do what you can to protect your reputation.
Got it.
So what our system does is it tries to limit the indemnity cost, tries to limit the impact on the operations of your company, tries to limit the amount of personnel time involved in handling an incident by directing it to the appropriate people. And then it does the best it can to protect your reputation by making sure that you are responding to the incident.
Love that. So I guess what I heard in there was that there's a consistency of response that drives not only that reputation management, but then also to the operational efficiency of coordinating all of these people. And that's all managed within the construct of your offering.
Yes.
Love that.
And we sit down with our clients and work through that.
Yep.
And we can assist them because we've done it for other clients with what we think the appropriate response would be.
Yep.
They might think we're wrong. They might think we're right. But we have a very, very nuanced system that's 100% customizable that can say, all right, you want this type of response, we'll give you this type of response. And if next Thursday you want to change that, we can change it.
Yeah.
Right? And we can send notifications out to you by text. We can send it by email. We can send it however you want. And we can take responses back. So, and the other thing our system does, it helps in manage your contractor relationships.
Okay.
For so many companies now, you're working as much with independent contractors as you are with employees.
Right.
So we have systems that help you analyze what type of cooperation you're getting from your contractors if they cause an incident that might damage your reputation, so that they understand their responsibilities under their contract. They cooperate with you, and they are kept informed on what's going on, because that contractor relationship is important to them. It's also important to you, because it's hard to find good contractors.
Yep.
So that is also part of your reputation and part of how we assist it.
Yeah, that makes great sense. So we talked about, FedEx and Amazon, those types of customers, UPS, those types of logistics customers. We're here surrounded in a kind of insurance heavy 9,000 person trade show. Who are you hoping to connect here with, Frank, that kind of really kind of for you to communicate your message?
Well, we worked with brokers as well.
Okay.
Brokers who want assistance in working with their small SIR clients.
Okay.
Where we help them develop their program. That's really been a positive endeavor for us. We've gotten a very positive response. We also think that small to mid-sized insurance companies might find it very useful, because they would want their insureds to produce as prompt and as completed an FNOL as possible.
Sure.
Right? If that first notice of loss is all wrong, it's very difficult to handle a claim promptly.
Yeah.
Right? And it's all sorts of immediate response that's necessary when something happens. The company needs to respond.
Right.
The contractor that might have been involved needs to know how they have to respond. And the insurance company needs to be involved early on. So we pass a lot of claims by API to insurance companies as part of this process. And they've been really delighted with it, because instead of getting a notification of loss 2 days, 3 days, 4 days later, they're getting it immediately. They're getting it by API. It's setting up a claim in their system. They're getting follow-up information if they come in. It's really worked out well for the insurance carriers as well.
I'm hearing something here, Frank, that I want to poke on and see if I've got this right. I think about, and you mentioned kind of like the small and mid-sized insurance companies. I think a lot of situations involve a broker selling those insurance products really from just a risk transfer perspective. So there's an incident, there's a loss. Okay, well, we've transferred the risk, and now we'll have remuneration for that loss or whatever it is. Well, I think I'm hearing an opportunity where leveraging a service like yours, the insurance value proposition goes beyond risk transfer, and it goes into that reputation management piece for the insured. Yes. And I don't know if the insureds are necessarily thinking about that proactively, but in partnership with a firm like yours, we're enhancing the value prop of insurance overall. Am I getting that right?
I think you're exactly right.
Okay.
And I think it's something that really needs to be pointed out, because the client isn't going to understand.
Sure.
A lot of times clients think once we pass it to our TPA or once we pass it to our insurance carrier, whatever happens, happens.
Right.
And they don't understand that it reflects back on them.
Right.
And their insurance carrier might do a wonderful job of protecting their money, do a tremendous job of investigating the liability aspects of the claim. But if they do that, and while they're doing it, they really annoy your contract and service provider, they really annoy your customer to the point where, and I understand it's hard to deal with a customer who's a claimant, who's made an insurance claim, but you can. There's ways to protect yourself from that long-term reputational risk, and it's a big problem. Indeed. The number of incidents that a transportation company, a hospitality firm has every year is astounding.
Yeah.
And it's also true. School boards are something that we've had a lot of interest from. I mean, because a school board has every type of loss you could possibly imagine. Sure. Right? And they're more worried about their reputation perhaps than anybody else. Right? Because if they have an issue that causes a flack, everybody up and down, from the supervisor all the way down to a teacher, is going to have to worry about it, going to have to respond to it. So the reputational risk that we assist them with, or assist them in limiting, I think is very, very valuable.
That makes a lot of sense. Let's close on this one, Frank. So,
Yep.
so as you think about looking into your insurance-focused crystal ball, what's on the roadmap for ARC over the next, call it, 18, 24 months? What are you seeing in the industry that you guys have to think about preparing for? You mentioned AI a little bit in your conversation. That's been embedded in almost every discussion here. I bought a toothbrush that says AI embedded. Still don't figure that out yet. But so what's in your crystal ball, 18 to 24 months?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, like everybody else, we've introduced so much AI over the past year in our claims management system. When an email is received, for example, the adjuster opens up that email. AI prepares a summary of the loss, presents it to them, gives a recommended response. Obviously, the adjuster goes in and makes changes, right? The same thing's true for a customer service rep.
Yep.
We sit down with the client. We teach our AI how to recommend responses that they believe are appropriate to emails, or even how to respond on the phone.
Yep.
But that's just the beginning, right? I mean, we need to be careful, and we need to have boundaries up. AI will never take the place of anybody licensed to do a particular function, but it can assist them a great deal.
Yeah.
And AI, the use of AI has enabled us to access and use databases on the internet that no one could ever get to as quickly.
That makes sense.
For example, when you log into our system, it shows you all the major weather patterns that are occurring anywhere in the country, so that you're prepared that a storm might be coming through.
Yeah, right.
So if you're an insurance company, a fire started here, a bad storm started here. It is now hail. You now have hail falling here. We have to be on the lookout if those are the areas that you're interested in. But it also follows all of the state and federal traffic cams at all times. So if an accident occurs and you get first notice of it, AI reaches back, pulls the traffic cam, and sees whether it was available at the time of the loss and whether there's an accident there. So you don't have to look for it, right? It might be, it might not be, but it'll know immediately whether it's there. A tremendous advantage, and you'd never be able to do it without AI.
Yeah.
Now, my tech people could probably give you 50 other things that they could do, but it's really fantastic to see. It has enabled us to do apps, and you see a lot of them here, right? Apps that you can send out to your claimant to present a claim and prepare the estimate for the claim. It's all built into our systems, and it really all needs AI to develop.
Yeah, makes good sense. This has been an amazing conversation, Frank. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you for tuning in here to another episode of Live at ITC. Again, I'm joined here by Mr. Frank Loftus, who's the CEO of ARC Global Risk. And I also too need to thank our sponsor here for Tint for sponsoring the Live at ITC set here. Please join us for some more here as we continue with Live at ITC. Thanks again, Frank.
Thank you.